Yo, in today's video, we'll be looking at strange and bizarre TikToks that'll make you question reality.
I don't care what happens. I'm here to bring the truth at whatever cost that comes with it.
You made huge headlines when you said after you complete these 15 episodes of Empire, you got to walk away for a while or forever? For good.
What I was being paid, it's very interesting. It began, I was being paid $125 an episode.
In the early part of the 2000s, Terrence Howard was on the cusp of major stardom. He'd been around since the mid-90s, stealing scenes in movies like Dead Presidents, Mr. Holland's Opus, and The Best Man, which, by the way, spawned a legit franchise. But it was his role in Paul Haggis's Oscar winner Crash that led to many saying he would be the next great actor of his generation. His role in the Sundance breakout Hustle and Flow was a sensation that nabbed him a well-deserved Oscar nomination, and he followed it up with excellent character work in Four Brothers, The Brave One, Get Rich or Die Trying, and more. But his role as James Rhodes in Iron Man promised big things to come.
You don't respect yourself, so I know you don't respect me. I'm just your babysitter.
Suddenly, things turned, and Mr. Howard was nowhere to be seen. Feeling belittled, the actor has turned to exposing the Hollywood elites he accuses of ruining his career. A move veteran actor...
You have no idea. Do you know what book this represents? There is a book that shows you how to escape the Matrix. A book that shows you how to escape 9-to-5s. Why haven't you heard of this book? This Matrix we live in, it's not a computer simulation. It's going to make sure that most of you don't even finish this video. That way you'll always be paying bills and you'll always be working for the system. In order to understand the book, you must first understand what the Matrix is. People use this word matrix all the time, but they never tell you what it truly is. It's not the government. It's not the movie Matrix. It's not the red pill community. It's not a computer simulation. There are archetypes in this world. Some call them spirits. Some call them characters. It really doesn't matter what you call them. They are everywhere. Movies, histories, songs, everyday life. To every spirit, there is a shadow. For every great mother, there is a devouring mother. So what's a matrix? A matrix is a medium or structure in which something develops. Matrix comes from the word mater, which means womb. A good matrix or womb sustains you so that you can be independent. A bad matrix takes from you so you can depend upon it. The matrix you live in is called civilization. See, you think civilization is synonymous with advancement, but it's not. The more advanced civilization grows, the less advanced humans physically are. And you can ask any leading anthropologist, you are being domesticated by civilization.
I swear.
They call it self-domestication. Think about it like this. What would happen to your dog if you were to leave it in your house and never come back? It depends on you, and it will surely pass away. It's that disconnected from its wild counterpart, just like you. You see, if something was to happen to civilization today, most of you would pass away within the next couple weeks, maybe even the next couple days. Unlike your ancestors and those who still live by the way of nature. There are fragile things, robust things, and anti-fragile things. Something that is fragile breaks easy in the presence of chaos. Something that is robust barely changes in the face of chaos. And something that is anti-fragile grows stronger and better in the face of chaos. Civilization makes you fragile. But this doesn't mean you have to give up comfortable living and technology. No, technology is not bad. Technology that's bad for the earth and humanity is bad. You can live a happy, comfortable life and still escape this civilization before it does what it always does and crumbles upon you. See, civilization has taught many of you that you need it, that you have to have it, that without it you cannot be a human. But there's nothing further from the truth. Ever since the advent of agriculture and civilization, famines have come into the picture, slavery, warfare. And I'm not talking about battles between groups, tribes. I'm talking about annihilation warfare, right? More diseases, more viruses, so on and so forth, sexism, racism. But there is a way out of that. And it's this book called FAMS. Food, forests, foraging, hunting, anti-fragile modern society. We're building these FAMs all across the world, and you can build one without me. You can build one on your own. The book, through 3 stories, teaches you exactly how to create one of these self-sustaining systems and why you should do it. The free link for the audiobook is at the top of my page. I love you all. Peace.
Let me find out he just went through all of that to market his own audiobook. That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
All right, so I just heard this wild theory about the TikTok ban, and I'm gonna need you guys' help on this one, because if this is true, there's a huge opportunity at hand, but we gotta find out where this is heading to. So anybody that's in the crypto right now, you're gonna understand what I'm getting ready to say, and I need you guys to go do your research and come back to this comment section and please help the world jump onto this, whatever's about to happen. So what I'm hearing is the world is literally a huge stage. It's like a show. So what they're doing is, from what I'm hearing, is they want to move, instead of TikTok getting banned, it could possibly move to a Web3, which is a decentralized web where everyone owns their own data. So whichever blockchain, whichever Web3 company this is going to skyrocket. So we need to find out right now if that is a possibility and where would that happen at. So you guys come back to the comment section and let me know which Web3 companies are leading the pack on that one. Peace and love and deuces.
Yeah, let me know too, because I'm about to invest everything into that if that's the case. Shout out to TikTok.
Crazy that over 40 people got shot in Chicago this weekend. What's even crazier is that we still not talking about who be doing some of this shit. It ain't the gangs. It ain't just the youngins. Don't you know that when the shit die down, anytime there's a motherfucking truce, a peace treaty anywhere, anytime the shit just slow down for a minute, them motherfuckers is pulling up in the mystery machines. You don't know who I mean by them motherfuckers? That's why it's a mystery, huh? You gotta get on that Scooby-Doo quest and figure it out. Who do you think is doing, who do you think is instigating, who do you think is, listen, man, these motherfuckers putting on disguises, man. These motherfuckers just shooting. They just doing drive-bys.
Yeah.
And then you think it was the ops. Yeah, it's the real ops. But a lot of us don't really know who the real ops is. I guess we could talk about it. Or maybe we can't.
Listen, I've been saying this for a long time, man, that all of them shootings in Chicago can't just be from the gangs or whatever, man. There's something going on, man. It's like big money out there, you know, with all of the murder, basically, you know.
So we are hearing today that TD Jakes has stepped down as a minister due to the allegations towards Diddy. We're hearing that TD Jakes has now stepped down as a minister. This is very alarming because a lot of you people give your money to these churches and these religious leaders, when in the background, they are hypocrites. They tell you to do one thing, they tell you to draw closer to God, and then they attend parties with people such as P. Diddy and other characters in Hollywood while spending the money that you guys tied to these organizations. You have religious leaders taking your money and living a double life. Don't you find that alarming?
Yeah, man. But we been knew that was happening.
Pineapple is the worst fruit that ever was made.
Really?
What?
Beside kiwi. Pineapple was made from scratch. Pineapple would eat up your stomach.
Yo. I ain't messing with pineapples no more.
Last week, leading up to her passing, she was having issues with her account with over 700,000 followers being banned. So again, a lot of people are saying like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Very odd. And a lot of those people are asking, did this have something to do with the exposing of Diddy? She has a lot, based on our review of her channel, she has a lot of focus on the Diddy story, and for good reason. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for good reason. There are cameras, hidden cameras found all over Diddy's house. Like when the feds...
See, and that's the thing. See, she was exposing everything. Like, she was exposing everything about Diddy. It seemed like stuff that he didn't want out. So, man, this is just mind-boggling to me.
Raided the house. You know, the house looked like this on the inside, and they ripped up everything looking for electronics. You can see the footage of the feds carrying out electronics, computers, hard drives from the house. Surely Diddy recorded somebody who he shouldn't have in his freak-out parties, right? And got either a politician or somebody famous, somebody who could like call in a federal raid like this. And that's what happened to this guy. Look at this. Look at the servers, the safes cracked open, and the electronics strewn about. That's what the feds were after here. So what are people who knew Diddy saying about all of this? Various rappers are saying, yeah, we knew what you were doing. You had a hard drive with all of these tapes on them, and you were trying to hide them. Yeah. Right? Check it out.
But he need to build a spot over there in Valley. Puffy I warn Keefy D to take his ass over there. There's no extradition laws over there. So I'm warning you now, Puffy. Take your ass over there. Reggie prediction. I know Puffy is smart enough, and he probably done already cleaned his houses.
Oh man, where the audio go?
And we'd be like, damn, why? They treat their sex tapes like, yeah, remember that song, Me and My Girlfriend, that Pac did? You know, what he was talking about? What was Pac talking about, y'all? And that. Do y'all really know what he was talking about? For those of y'all know what he's talking about, he's talking about a gun, but sexual predators is what hold on to their tapes. And cops know that. So I wouldn't be surprised if some storages or some of Puffy properties be getting raided real soon.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because lo and behold, just a few short weeks ago,
and then that's exactly what happened. He got raided and fled. I think they say he went to the Caribbean or something. He got the crap up out of there. So it's not looking good for P. Diddy. Like, it's not looking good for him at all. He is still in like massive trouble. Even rappers, everybody is going off on Diddy. A lot of people said that they know what he did to a lot of these guys and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into details and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure if y'all been keeping up with the story.
Man, that's wild, Joe.
I told y'all the gates to hell had been opened and we are being plagued by demonic forces. There was just a mass stabbing on a boat in New York like 15 minutes ago.
Yo, had one here in my own town. Crazy. Out of nowhere. Just some crazy dude. Just got the mailman and some more people. It was weird, man.
And this is just one of 5 mass casualty events in the last week, the last 7 days. That's not true, prove it. Look at my last video. Do I have to spell everything out for y'all? Literally letter for letter? Can no one do research by themselves and look around and see that things are not freaking normal? They literally spelt it out for you word for word the day after Doomsday in The Economist magazine. Demons plaguing the world. What's happening in the Middle East? World leaders. Crooked politicians. I have not been able to verify if this was right now, but this was just posted to Twitter and they said it just happened, and I would not be surprised if people are stocking up on gas again. I never thought I'd see the day where almost every single person is absolutely helpless. And you don't even know the deepest part of the whole thing. No pun intended. By the way, of course your representative screwed you. What'd you expect? A last video for more details on that.
Yo, some crazy energy out here right now.
Who is more violent than black men in this country? Well, that's easy. It's the original illegal immigrants, European Americans. Shortly after Columbus discovered this country, we came over and killed in the millions Native Americans. And then we raped, brutalized, and enslaved millions of Africans. And after 400 plus years, we freed them, only to create the prison industrial complex to provide effectively free labor for Fortune 500 companies. Speaking of those Fortune 500 companies, anytime their interests were disrupted by foreign countries simply existing, we would employ the CIA or the US military to disrupt their government, install a puppet government that suits our needs better, and rape their country of their natural resources, all the while killing millions of people across the world. But instead of teaching any of this shit in school, we went to home ec and gym class, all the while learning about how dangerous listening to rap music is. We never learned any of this shit. Instead, you watched, I don't know, Boys in the Hood and concluded, wow, those black guys are really violent. So we look at a people with an entire country's foot on their neck and have come to the conclusion that they are, in fact, the ones that are violent. And that, of course, is by design. Because if we didn't view them this way, we might have a real moral conundrum on our hands. And we might ask ourselves, gosh, why are we locking up more of our own citizens than anywhere else in the world? But instead, we've bought this lie that, hey, they're violent, they're criminal, so yeah, they belong in prison. All the while, the wealthiest of the wealthy get richer and pay politicians to feed us this bullshit. So in short, to answer your question, European Americans, by far. And it's not even close.
Shout out to him. It's crazy how people think.
In just a couple of hours, the Senate is set to vote on a bill that will essentially ban TikTok. And this isn't the same bill from a couple of weeks ago. It's a new bill the House put together and snuck it in with a bunch of funding for wars. And I've heard a lot of people laugh at that fact. Like, what does TikTok have to do with funding a bunch of wars? Why did they sneak it in there? That's for two reasons. It essentially guarantees that the Senate is going to vote yes on this little package. And also, make no mistake, this is a war on our First Amendment rights. So I don't think it's a coincidence. We've heard time and time again, ad nauseum, okay, about how TikTok is a threat to our national security. We can't have foreign governments interfering in our shit. The problem with that is that it's coming from politicians who accept money from foreign governments to interfere in our shit.
You know?
That's okay. You see, in my humble opinion, TikTok started out being this silly little dance app. And once it evolved to becoming a place where people can share information and educate each other and create communities, that's when it started becoming a problem. And I can almost guarantee you that since that evolution, calls from citizens to their representatives were on the rise. And that's a problem because TikTok's algorithm has this unique ability to have creators like myself be able to hit their target audiences. TikTok also has this unique ability where any video can go viral at any moment. And that's a problem. Now, don't get me wrong. As great as I think social media is, I also know it can be equally dangerous. But that goes for all social media platforms, not just TikTok. I've heard time and time again what a threat Donald Trump is to our democracy. I think that goes under national security. And yet, Facebook is one of the reasons why Donald Trump was elected in 2016. Facebook is where my crazy aunt believed and shared a photo that was obviously photoshopped of Obama hugging Osama bin Laden. But that's okay. I've seen the amount of misinformation that's out there, and it is alarming. And I do my best to combat that misinformation. And I can call you stupid. But I don't think the government has the right to not only call you stupid, but strip away your First Amendment rights because they think you are. Because when TikTok offered up the solution with the worries around our data being stolen, they dropped that. Now it's about national security and misinformation. So you can piss on my leg and tell me it's raining all day. But I see right through your shit. Because if this goes through, you're not banning the app right away, right? That gives us more than enough time until November. Anyways, bye.
You know, I found out some shit about the OJ case 2 days ago that I bet y'all don't even know.
Give it to me.
Do you know who Glenn Rogers is?
He lived.
Glenn Rogers, better known as the cross-country killer, was Nicole Brown Simpson's handyman.
What do you mean?
That's crazy too. And then why the police never said that or talked about that? You know, we should have been acquiring those type of facts if you present somebody to be a murderer or, you know, charging somebody of murder.
He was her handyman was a serial killer. He was convicted. He killed 4 blondes. He was convicted of killing 4 blondes. That was his thing. He was from Ohio. He was her handyman, which means he was at her house a couple times a week. If y'all look it up if you think I'm bullshitting. His name is Glenn Rogers, known as the cross-country killer or the Casanova killer. He was convicted of killing 4 people 4 women in 1995, and during the time of the murders and for years before that, he was her handyman.
And that's crazy if the police knew that the handyman, you know, was a serial killer, and you never tell motherfuckers this shit.
Never knew.
And they never brought that shit up in the media.
But that's the type of games, though, the media play, though. Once a narrative is spent and it's making money, they not deviating from that. They need to make that money.
Well, they painted her as a victim in the media.
This is extremely creepy if you've never seen it before, and frankly, even if you have. In a moment, this is going to start cycling through a bunch of unaltered celebrity photos, but you're going to keep your eyes focused right here in the very middle on this cross. Again, this only works if you keep your eyes focused on the middle at the cross. And what will happen is you will start to see strange distortions on these faces in your peripheral vision. They will start to look monstrous, or they will look like cartoonish caricatures with features that are exaggerated, with big eyes or big jaws or big mouths.
I have no clue. What am I seeing right now?
Some of you think this is a trick and that these images are distorted, but if you go back and watch it again, you will see they are only distorted in your peripheral vision. If you stop and look at the individual images, they're normal.
What am I looking at, yo? That is
called
crazy.
The flashed face distortion effect, and we actually don't know how it works. The video was made by Tangent Cognitive Labs, and it went viral a long time ago. Like, obviously it has something to do with the fact that your peripheral vision is imperfect and your brain is trying to fill in details. And they've done follow-up experiments showing that it doesn't just work with faces. But as for why the brain processes these faces as cartoonish and distorted versus just making them blurry, to this day, nobody's really sure.
That was crazy. That tripped me out, y'all. Wow.
Just give me about 90 seconds or less, and we'll put an end to all this racism stuff for good. Here's what it comes down to, y'all. Descriptors over labels. Let me break this thing all the way down. A descriptor is an expression used to identify something or someone, while a label assigns someone to a particular category. For example, when you label me as a black man, me as a man comes second to me being black. But when you describe me as a man with black skin, the emphasis is then placed on me being a man and not so much on me being black.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Yep. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Here's the psychology behind it. When we say things like black people or white people, etc., our subconscious mind automatically forms unconscious biases or stereotypes about the person. And get this, it doesn't even need our permission to develop those stereotypes either. It's what we call an automatic response. And that's why it's so dangerous to label each other as black people, white people, etc. Personally, I never refer to my friends with white skin as white people. I refer to them as my brothers and my sisters who happen to be white. After all, did you know that our skin only exists to hold bodily fluids in, prevent dehydration, and keep harmful microbes out? Bottom line, rather than focus on an organ, because that's all the skin is, let's look for ways to see the humanity in one another by simply learning to use descriptors instead of labels.
I'm tired of being labeled. I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
To simply put it, we're all Americans with different skin tones. That's it. And since American history includes those with black skin,
I don't want a Black History Month.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, no lie. I don't want one either.
These are things that prove Japan is unlike any other country in the world, and the last one will shock you. Home of the largest crosswalk in the world, Shibuya Crossing has on average 2.4 million people cross it every day, with roughly 2,500 people on every crossing. Japan is known for how clean it is, so clean that it might surprise you if you're not used to it. But in Japan, cleanliness is a lifestyle. Even the water in Japan is clean, so clean that in the street drainage canals, koi fish are able to live in it. Koi fish can only survive in extremely pure water, which proves the quality of the water. In the country, there are more than 6,000 manhole covers decorated with art. Each one is unique, reflecting their local culture. This is a rice paddy. Farmers in Japan plant specific rice species to make these amazing artworks. Each year, the rice paddies are used as the canvas for a new, large-scale design.
That's pretty dope. I might have to go visit Japan for real.
Oh, wow. Eddie Griffin believes the raids on Diddy's homes for S trafficking were staged and believes Clive Davis and the head of Universal Music Group are involved. Check this out.
Well, Clive Davis, yeah, that's the monster. And the head of Universal Music Group, what's this man? See, he's put Diddy up, and they sacrificing Diddy. They said, "No, take this. Cause we can't be involved." But Diddy's smart. He filmed every session, so he was live, and the freak boy that run Universal Music Group. So he got them on some tapes. Now that's why they raiding the house, because they got friends in Homeland Security and the feds, and they said get in there and get them tapes from this trying to blackmail us. That's what I believe is going on. Because, you know, Homeland Security, they came in there with tanks down there, and military money 5 deep, 30 deep for one dancer. Say what?
That's exactly what Eddie believes, along with others. Despite reaching a settlement, authorities with Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, raided 2 properties owned by Combs in connection to a S trafficking investigation. Since then, many legal experts and officials have said there are signs that the investigation may be further along than previously thought. A former federal prosecutor told Fox 5 NY's Lisa Evers that Diddy might even be facing a RICO S trafficking case. They have now conducted 2 public search warrants of 2 homes. That's a significant step in any investigation. It means they have probable cause to believe a crime has been committed and that they'll find evidence of that crime in those locations, Nadia Shihada, a former federal prosecutor and current partner of the law firm Shihada and Geddes, LLP, said. Diddy and his attorneys have categorically denied all the allegations in the civil cases. He has not been charged with any crime in connection with the S abuse allegations. Law enforcement officials confirmed that a federal S trafficking investigation is ongoing. Do you agree with Eddie's theory? Or maybe Diddy actually committed these allegations? Let us know down below, and as always, thanks for tuning in here at Dirt TV.
Yo, do y'all agree with Eddie Griffin or nah? I mean, hey, what Kanye say to Drake?
Where's Lucian? Serve your master, nigga.
Yeah.
The history we've all been taught is a massive lie. Before the civilization we have today, there was another civilization that's been hidden from us. The Tartarian Empire was a civilization that was far more advanced than us, but in a different way. They had harnessed the ability to use atmospheric energy. They incorporated it into all of the buildings and were able to create free energy for everyone at all times. They had also harnessed the power of frequencies and were able to build grand architecture by manipulating substances and moving huge rocks through vibration. Hence the Great Pyramids and many other unexplainable architectural anomalies that were created in the past. The free energy was a threat to the massive oil industry and all the profits they were able to generate from the scarcity of oil. So the owners of this industry, who were extremely powerful, created a plan to take out this civilization and wipe them from history so nobody would ever know about free energy. And they destroyed all their architecture and technology. They did their best to cover up any evidence that the Tartarians ever existed. So this is why...
Yo, I agree with everything that was said, but that AI is scary. That was not him talking right there.
I'm gonna say it straight like this. If you ain't heard about the supercomputer, well, you about to hear about it today. A supercomputer more than 2,000 times larger than the human brain will begin operating in April 2024. Now this computer right here is ran off of real brains. Now let's look how it's operated. It's a neuromorphic system. Now you're probably wondering what that is, so we're gonna dive into some detail. Neuromorphic uses hardware based on the structures, processing capacity of neurons and synapses in biological brains. See, what you're looking at right here is a biological neural network. See, this computer right here is really ran off of human brains, man. Look, things are really getting wicked and weird out here. And this computer was turned on in April this month. This computer right here is half Android and half human, bro. This is like some straight up Dragon Ball Z stuff. I need y'all to wake up, man. Y'all need to share this video, man. Y'all need to spread awareness because listen, this world is getting wicked by the day. And if we don't wake up now, it's gonna be over for us. Have a good day, y'all. Share this video, comment, and like it.
Yo, that is scary though, man. Like if AI has an actual brain to work with, right? I'd be scared. There's a show called Electric Dreams on Amazon Prime. And on the second episode of Electric Dreams, right? They the world, they went through some type of war or whatever, right? But they had this factory called AutoFac. And it was completely run by AI to push out goods. So it was just sending goods out, goods, delivering it with these drones over and over. People didn't need this stuff, but it's still just dumping it on them.
As the world is waking up to what's really going on, I think it's important that all the conspiracy people start to get more bold and start to speak out about what we know. We were the ones who didn't comply. We were the ones who questioned everything back in like 2019, 2020. And we were the ones who did our research. And we know a lot about what's going on. And a lot of us know what's about to happen. I can't share a lot of stuff on my platform. My videos get yanked pretty quickly if I go too off topic. So I'm going to start referring all the people that are openly discussing these things. I want to preface this really quickly and say that if you are not privy to this information, it is very hard to digest. This information caused me to cry for months on end. But here's the truth, y'all. It is happening. It is happening to our little ones. And if they have to go through it, we should know about it. I will always refer my videos back to Christ because I am a Christian and Jesus is the only thing that matters. We are walking through the book of Revelation and we are up against an evil that is incomprehensible to the average person. It is hard to take in that this exists. It is hard to take in that this is happening. And it's just overall just hard to wrap your brain around. Go type her name into TikTok. She talks openly about all of this stuff. She is an ex-Satanist. She was actually born into it. She has the symbol on her birth certificate. She got out. She is a follower of Christ now, and she wants to share what's going on. She shares a lot about end times. She shares a lot about the depopulation agenda. She talks openly about the one world government, all of that stuff. She also talks about this stuff. And this is where we get into it. This is where we hit the evil. This is where we hit the hard-hitting stuff that people don't want to accept. But again, it's important that people know. She even discusses the fact that they take the ashes and they will put SPELLS on them and then they sell them to the food companies. And guess what the food companies do with them? This is an evil that is beyond what we can comprehend.
I never even thought about that one, y'all. Yo, the ashes of people get put back into the food and stuff. That's messed up.
This is an evil that we all need to be aware of. And when I say that we need to put on the armor of God and we need to fight, this is what I'm talking about.
That is messed up, y'all. Gotta be safe out here.
Even Jay-Z.
Yo, that is a good question, man. Where is Jay-Z right now?
Watch this.
Cancer. More young Americans are being diagnosed with cancer than ever before. A recent report warning that head and neck cancer now is on the rise for those who are as young as 20 or in their 20s. What's behind this disturbing increase in early onset cancer?
One guess.
Medical contributor Dr. Mark Siegel is here with the latest. Good morning to you, Dr. Siegel.
Hi, Ainsley. How are you?
I'm doing well. What is going on? Why are so many younger people getting cancer?
Well, some of this is diet, poor diet and processed food. Some of it is alcohol. But you know what I'm mostly worried about? Throat cancer here is the #1 cause of head and neck cancer, and 70% of it is linked to human papillomavirus, HPV, which is sexually transmitted. And only about 60% of our teens are getting the vaccines for this they're supposed to get.
Okay, so People are getting cancer. Young adults are getting cancer because they're not getting vaccinated for the HPV virus. Really? So they're advocating for yet another vaccine.
If there's good news, is that HPV-related throat cancers are curable, Ainsley, 80 to 90% of the time with chemo and radiation, and now we're using advanced robotic techniques. Dr. Gavouri at NYU is using the robot on head and neck cancers to tremendous success.
Robots.
So we're getting more and more tools to fight this, but the number one tool would be improve your diet, decrease alcohol, and get that HPV vaccine.
Right.
How do you know if you have this throat cancer before it's too late?
I have my thoughts.
Let's hear 'em.
It wouldn't be related to the COVID vaccine, would it? They need to test all these people that are coming down with cancer at this young age and see if they've had the mRNA vaccine. That'll tell you everything you need to know. That's all.
So the
Hey, but what if the news is just lying? What if no one's even getting this cancer that they're talking about, and they're just trying to scare people so that they can come do what they tell them to do? Hey, make sure your kids get the HPV vaccine. Get this vaccine. Make sure you do this because there's this scare back over here. Trust me, you don't want to see it. I've seen it before. But there's really nothing going on.
Man who set himself aflame right in front of the courthouse where Donald Trump was on trial is alive. This comment says he's still alive. But you have to understand why I said the man is no longer here. Let's have a look. So it says, man sets himself on fire near courthouse where Trump is on trial. Onlookers screamed as fire engulfed the man who had thrown pamphlets in the air before he set himself aflame. The authority says he was in critical condition and unlikely to survive. When you barbecue yourself, do you guys understand that? When you barbecue yourself, you are unlikely to survive. So as this video was being created, where you're seeing this comment come from, most likely this man will not survive. So I understand there's a big difference, but it says he's unlikely to survive. And we're going to get back into this because the manifesto, oh my gosh, the manifesto. The manifesto is everything. So the next video will be about that. I'm out.
Yo, people are crazy, man. You'll never catch me on anybody's grill. Don't barbecue me. I ain't barbecuing myself. That's crazy. Yo, what's going on in the world, man? Is there some crazy energy that's in the air? Is it due to the eclipse? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think is really going on. These are some of the most strange and bizarre TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bell on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.